Time in YouTube, and welcome back to Theme Deck Corner. Today we are looking over the Roaring Heat deck featuring Incineroar. If you happen to have missed Monday's episode of Foreshadow featuring Decidueye, I highly recommend checking it out. It was a fantastic deck. You definitely want to check it out. But today we're going to be looking over this feisty kitty. This guy here is a Fire-type Pokemon with 160 HP. He is thick. He has almost got the same HP as an EX. Of course, he is a Stage 2, unfortunately, but he is mighty fine. He has Fire Fang, which is 1 fire, 1 colorless. It's going to do 30 damage, but you are going to burn your opponent now. You are going to be able to burn your opponent now. And pretty much what this does is you get to do 20 damage, but they get to flip a coin. I believe if heads, the burn stays, or like the damage stays on. If tails, the damage comes off. So they don't necessarily lose to burn, but I believe it can knock it out prior to the engagement. So we'll see how that works out. He's also got Darkest Lariat for 2 fire, 1 colorless. You're going to do 100 damage times 2 coin flips. For each heads, you're going to do 100 damage. Now, unfortunately with this, it is not guaranteed damage, but you have the potential to do 200 damage. In Theme Deck format, that's insane. That literally blows my mind away with how much damage this thing can do. He's a very strong card. Unfortunately, the coin flip will make or break him. Now, we're going to start off with our colorless Pokemon. We are a 2-color variant this time, not just the one like Foreshadow was. But we're going to start with Oranguru, who's a very interesting card. It is a basic 120 HP colorless Pokemon with Instruct. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in hand. So think Octillery, but a much smaller Grand. So that's due to him not being an evolution. With Octillery having to go through a little bit of extra work, you got 5 cards every turn. With Oranguru, you only really get 3. But it could really make or break a situation depending on how far your hand has gone. You do have Psychic as well. 3 colorless energy. It's going to do 60 damage. This attack does 20 more damage times the number of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. There is potential to do a little bit of damage, but really, in this format you might see 3 energy, but in regular play this guy is going to be sitting on your bench using Instruct. Next up we have Beware, 130 HP, Stage 1 with Bear Hug. 2 colorless energy, 40 damage. The defending Pokemon cannot retreat during your opponent's next turn. And you also have Superpower, 3 colorless energy, 80 damage. You may do 40 more damage, however, if you do, you are going to do 20 damage to yourself. 120 damage, though, for 3 energy is really good. And it's situational. You don't have to do it, but you can if you want to. If you really need to take that knockout, Superpower can do it. If you don't need to, Superpower is still going to knock out quite a few Pokemon. So, Beware is a pretty strong Pokemon to worry about. Next up, we've got a couple Brawler, 80 HP, Fighting-type Pokemon with Punch for 2 colorless, it's going to do 20. Crabhammer for 2 colorless, 1 fighting, it's going to do 40. He's a junky card in this deck. I wouldn't recommend putting too much energy on him, just due to the fact that he's just not that great. We have Makuhita, 80 HP, Fighting-type Pokemon basic, with Surprise Attack, 1 fighting, 20 damage, flip a coin if Tails' attack does nothing. So, gotta be careful on that, but you can at least attach some energy to him. Strength as well, 1 fighting, 1 colorless, 40 damage. They're pretty much a Brawler, the 2 of them, but the energy costs are a little easier on Makuhita. Next up, we've got a Pokemon that everybody's starting to enjoy from this good old set, and that is Passimian. Basic type Pokemon, 110 HP with a fighting typing. He has Fling for 1 fighting energy. It's not a lot. You get to do 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. You can't hit the active, which is kind of sad, but if you're catching someone on the run, you can throw your ball, catch him off guard, and take him out. But his main attack is Team Play. For 2 colorless energy, you get to do 10 damage, but you get to do 30 more damage for each benched Passimian. So this guy can rack up some damage later game, especially if you've got 4 Passimian, maybe some Mew, something. But unfortunately, we only have 2 Passimian in this deck, so it's not going to be running too much. Next up, we have the Boldore, 110 HP, Fighting-type Pokemon, Stage 1, with Headbutt and Rock Hurl. Headbutt, 1 Fighting, 1 Colorless, 30 damage. Rock Hurl, 1 Fighting, 2 Colorless, 50 damage. However, the attack's damage isn't affected by resistance, which is nice to note. Resistance does come into play quite a few times, and Fighting is a common resistance, so that's good to have. Next up is a brand new Mon, Palossand, 130 HP, Fighting-type Pokemon. It's a Stage 1 with Wall of Sand. This Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks, period. No Hard Charm necessary, 20 damage down every single time. He's also got Absorb Vitality, 1 Fighting, 3 Colorless. Heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage you did to your opponent's active Pokemon. Now this can scale with Strong Energy. If you're playing Expanded, it can go with Fighting a Stadium. But that 4 energy cost is what's going to hinder Palossand, I believe. But we're going to see how it plays out. Next up, we have our only other Fire-type Pokemon, and that is Torkoal. 110 HP, Fire-type Pokemon. It's a basic with Singe, 1 Fire Energy. Your opponent active Pokemon is burned, and you have Body Slam, 1 Fire, 1 Colorless, 50 damage, and you get to flip a coin. If heads, your opponent is going to be paralyzed. So Torkoal's not bad for the statuses, and it only costs you 2 energy to get it to its max attack, which 50 isn't really that bad. Again, in this consistency, with the paralysis and the previous burn from the Singe, you could easily rack up a knockout with Torkoal. But that is our Pokemon lineup. Now, quickly going over our trainers, they're not much different from the previous deck, so if you have watched the previous deck, most of this is the same. We have the Big Malasada, heal 20 damage from and remove a special condition from your active. Very, very nice to have. We have Energy Retrieval, put 2 basic energies from your discard pile into your hand. We've seen this hundreds of times prior. We have the new Nest Ball. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench, and shuffle your deck afterwards. This helps us get Passimians, this helps us get our Stuffles, our Littens, Oranguru if we need it. We have a Potion, heal 30 damage from your Pokemon. It's straightforward, we've seen them hundreds of times. This is the ball that helps us get everything else. Flip 2 coins for each head, search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand. If you're really lucky and you flip 2 heads and you've got Litten on the field, you pretty much have your Incineroar in the next 2 turns, which is really nice. And if you can't land that, you've got the Golden Ball itself, the Ultra Ball. Discard 2 cards from your hands, grab a Pokemon from your deck. It's just that simple. We've got the Tyranitar replacement, How, draw 3 cards. Very, very nice. We've got a Lily, who pretty much is a Shaman on a supporter, but with the added perk of getting to draw 8 cards instead of 6 if it's played on your first turn. Again, you have to, unfortunately, lose up your supporter for the turn, but she is still a pretty good card, especially in this format. Next up, you have Kukui. Draw 2 cards, and then your active Pokemon does 20 additional damage, which is very nice. Kukui is going to be a pretty interesting supporter, I think. And then lastly, we have 9 Fighting Energy and 11 Fire Energy. And again, I gotta give kudos to these guys designing energies, because these cards absolutely look beautiful. I said it in the last one, but this is probably my favorite energy design we've had. So kudos to you guys. But that is the Roaring Heat deck. Please let me know what you guys think already. Is this deck going to be able to compete with the Decidueye? Is this deck going to be able to compete in the format? I don't know. You guys don't know yet. Maybe you do. Maybe I'm lying. And maybe you do know what's happening with this deck. But for me, it's about time that we get onto those good old battles and see if we can win some games. And our first match is against the Mental Might. Muffy I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I'm gonna fail! It's Muff Yumai. Whatever, we're gonna call him Muffy, because that's easy. We are gonna be able to go first, and we are gonna take it here. Let's see, we've got a Litten and an Oranguru, which is really nice. I am gonna leave the Litten. Let's see if we can compete with one of these staple decks on TCGO. Mental Might has been around for a little bit now, and it has honestly been one of the biggest headaches to deal with on TCGO. So this is a very good example of whether this deck can withstand the meta or not. We do see 2 Raltses on our opponent's side. And I'm going to just simply go for the fire energy here and aim to go for my timer ball. We don't get... Oh, we get one. So we can go for our Torcat. And we'll be one card closer to getting our Incineroar. We did list... We did... There we go! Don't even matter. We've got him. I was going to say, we're going to miss out on getting the Incineroar maybe, but we're not going to now. We've got it. At this point, I want to get a Torkoal. There we go. And we are going to pass the turn as we do go first here. So we'll be able to go for the Fury Swipes, which is going to be 3 coins. If we're lucky, we can take out the Rolt's first turn. I don't see it happening, but we'll be able to get to our Incineroar turn 3. Turn 3. So that is good to know. And we'll be able to actually have it fully equipped as well. So our opponent does go for the energy drop on the back rolls, which does make sense. We are going to go for the good old Fury Swipes here. I'm not going to use up my Kukui just yet. We are going to go for the Fury Swipes. Flip 3 coins. 20 damage per. Nothing. 1, 2, 40 damage. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And the next turn we'll have a fully equipped Incineroar on the bench, ready to go. Turn, like I said, very consistent. That timer ball in theme decks has made these decks go so much quicker because they're always based off of a stage 2 and then you never can get them. Our opponent is spreading the energy perfectly like they're supposed to. Probably going to bring in that good old Furfrou on the following turn to take some damage, potentially take the heat of this next match. We're going to easily just go for the Incineroar drop. There's no reason not to. I can start setting up Torkoal in the back. I can actually go for my Howl right now. This way I can get additional cards, maybe some setup. I'm going to actually drop my Stuffle down, because Beware is a fantastic mon. And I'm going to just go for the Fire Fang. No reason to risk the knockout here. Here's your ruling, guys. If your Pokemon is burned, put a burn marker on it. Between turns, put 2 damage counters on the burned Pokemon. Then that Pokemon's owner flips a coin. If heads, the Pokemon returns to normal. Oh. But we're going to take a good old Ooh, we got the Beware! I know who I'm setting up next. It is definitely going to be that Beware. So with that, our opponent loses his Rolts, does come into the Furfrou. Now, we can one-shot this with Darkest Lariat if we can land one of those 2 coin flips. Does drop a second energy, but he'll be going for that Paralysis, but I have the big Melisata in the back, so that will not matter. He does land it, heals himself up, but, not heals himself, but he's probably thinking he's got this, but with the big Melisata in the back, we are 100% A-okay. So there we go, heals that 20 damage, heals the Paralysis, your turn did nothing, and, I don't need to do any extra damage. I just need to go for the Darkest Lariat. And we're going to land it. We're going to land 200 damage right there, guys. Down goes that Furfrou. This Incineroar is a beast. We get a fighting energy so we can start sending up the Beware even further. This is the thing, too. We're trying to set up 2 mons back to back, and we're doing it very nicely. It's not like we're being stuck on one or the other. We do see that we're going to get double slapped here, and my opponent is not going to get any damage off. That is just a shame. That is just a shame. I'm just going to go for the Darkest Lariat. I need to get rid of this thing. And we land another heads, meaning that this Curly is no more. We only have a Skitty to deal with, and that is Mental Might at its finest going down. Unfortunately, my opponent did not pull the Gallade, which would have helped him in that situation, because I could not have easily taken him out. But again, we were constantly hammering him with Incineroar. Getting that turn 3 Incineroar was very, very quick, very, very efficient, and again, didn't have to use any of my other cards. I still had a fighting energy in back. Beware was about to be fully set up. We had Kukui in the back, so if I had to do extra damage with the burn, we could have. There were a lot of good situations there. Very, very pleased with that matchup. But of course, this is Theme Deck Corner. We don't just do 1 match here, we do 2. So hold on to your horses, guys. Or I guess in this case, hold on to your kitties, because we've got 1 more match coming your way in just a second. There we go. And here we go, second match. It's also against Mental Might, Captain Rex. Can we be able to obtain a second win against the strongest one, or are we going to finally see some defeat in these Sun and Moon theme decks? All I know is these things are utterly fantastic. The synergies, the movement of the items have definitely increased their playability. So here we go. Now we don't have our strongest start. I'll admit to that right now. And I'm going to probably lead with the Makuhita. I'm going to play the Brawler. Unfortunately, these two are our junkie mods. We don't really want to run them, but if we don't have a choice, we don't have a choice. And unfortunately, these two are also weak to the Mental Might. So this is going to be the hardest part of this. We saw Litten go 100% ham onto it, but our opponent has a Hoot Hoot. So I'm not threatened by this thing anymore. Not threatened by it. We're just going to pass our turn on. We have nothing to really go for us right now. But I can go for a strength. It is resisted by 20, so this Hoot Hoot has a little bit of life to it. But if he goes for some draws, that'll be perfect for us, because that means we will be able to do some massive damage. Wahahahaha! We do see a Woobat. Probably not the Ralts of the Milktank that our opponent was hoping for. But it's a Woobat. At least it's something on the bench. Not going to get knocked out one shot by the Hoot Hoot. Not that I can knock it out with the Makuhita anyway. Kind of wish they did put the Hariyama in here, because as much as the Hariyama's energy costs are really high, it's got some good damage and back with the pushdown. So we are both going to draw a couple cards here. Very, very nice. And I'm going to just drop a Fire Energy onto Makuhita, because then I can start setting up the Brawler in the back. And this is when I'm going to go for my Kukui. I do get an Oranguru. And I'm going to be able to do 60, which will only be 40 to the Hoot Hoot, due to the fact of the resistance, which is fine. I wanted to do that so that this Hoot Hoot's only got one more turn. I've got to put pressure on them now, because if I don't, that Ralts is going to be able to level up really quickly. Heals with a potion. Beautiful play on my opponent's part. Does keep the Hoot Hoot alive for another turn. Drops energy drop onto the Woobat, which gives him the ability to dual cut, but more importantly, when he evolves, he'll be able to go for those energy siphoning and all that kind of good stuff. But now that I've got two energies down on Makuhita, I can start spending some energy over onto Brawler. But we are going to be able to draw a few more cards here. We are going to get the Pissimian. We've got two Incineroars, but no Litten or Torcat. We're going to change that right now. We have our Nest Ball, and I'm getting that Litten. Now, Torcats are in here, 3 of them specifically, so we should be able to grab one. And I'm actually going to start leveling up our good old Litten. But I am going to go for that strength. It's only going to do 20 damage. But again, it's damage on my opponent. My opponent is hoping to get some good card draw here. Probably has got what he's looking for now. He's got the Milktank. At this point, we're almost halfway through the decks. He should have gotten a Ralts. He should have gotten something. But it doesn't look like he has. He's looking for more cards with the Tyranno. I'll be doing the same thing with her How. So there is that. But our opponent drops the Psychic Energy down onto the Milktank. And we're going to see the Hoot Hoot go for another dual draw. We get a Timer Ball, which is exactly what we were hoping to get. And we don't need to use it. We've got the Torcat here. I can actually go for the Timer Ball. 1 heads, 2 heads. We're getting some evolutions here. We're going to get our Beware, and we're going to get another Torcat. I'm in very good position here because the Torcat now will be able to go for the Incineroar evolution next turn, be able to go for its full attack, and we're going to be able to do another strength here. What's nice here is we do have all our options here. I can evolve the Beware next turn. I should have done that this turn, but it doesn't matter. And we've got literally everything we need. So we don't need to draw. I've got enough energy. We see the second energy drop hit the Milktank. I really want to knock out Hoot Hoot prior. Our opponent draws more cards thanks to the good old roller skates landing it. He's at 30 cards left. We're actually got more cards out of the deck than he has. And he's the one benefiting from this. He finally got his first Ralts out of the game. It is a little late. I do believe he has energy drop, so we can't set that up. But we are going to see another dual draw. We do get our Ultra Ball, which is very nice, very clutch. And what's really nice here is I can keep my Incineroar in the back when he brings up that Milktank, which means I can easily one-shot this thing if I can land a coin flip. We're going to just drop a Fighting Energy onto the Incineroar, evolve the Beware. Both these energies that are on Makuhita, we can come back with the energy retrieval, so we're good for that. I'm not going to use the How. We don't need any additional resources right now. We do have everything we need. I'm going to go for the Strength, and we're going to obtain our first knockout of this match. Hoot Hoot's finally going to go down, and we get a Lily. Again, not very, very good right now in the situation that we're in, but I'm all happy for it. I'll gladly take a Lily. So we do see the Milktank come up. They'll be able to go for the 60 damage hammer in. In fact, I might be able to go for a strength here and just hit it for weakness. We do see the third energy drop come down, and unfortunately it is going to just go... We're going to see a roller skate, so my opponent is aiming for more cards, does not get it, however. And do we see the hammer in? Because you don't have the ability to go for powerful friends. Now, if I had my Kukui here, this would be, like, the best situation, because I could easily just take this thing out. And this thing has all the energies on it. I can retreat. I'm going to start setting up Beware. I can actually just retreat. No point in wasting my time. Incineroar is the main mon here. I'm going to just go for the good old energy retrieval. Get these energies back. And I'm going to go for the Darkest Lariat. Landing one coin flip will change this game entirely. But we don't land it! Oh no! That's bad. That's bad. I should have gone with the super effective move. It would have done enough damage. Here's the Gallade. Now we're in trouble. My opponent can retreat if he wants to, which means that... And the Power for Friends will go off, which will do a lot more damage. It's 80 damage now. So I gotta be careful here. I gotta set up another attacker. I really just need a Litten. But we are going to go for another Darkest Lariat here. We finally land one! Oh, I was getting a little nervous there. But we do get rid of the Milktank, which is actually a lot of Gallade's power gone. 3 energies gone. There's only 2 left on his board, which means his strongest move, Powerful Storm, only is going to do 40 right now. It's only going to do 40. It'll do 60, but it's not going to be enough to take me out with my overly high energy cost. And if I get really lucky, I can take out this Gallade this turn. Darkest Lariat is very strong, can be very crucial here. But again, not too threatened. I have turns to set up. I have Beware in the back. If I can even get one off, the Beware in the back will be able to take out this Gallade. I'm not threatened by it. Not threatened by it in the slightest. We're going to see the Powerful Storm. It's going to hit us for 60. We're going to be at 140. Our HP is ridiculously high. We have a second Passimian now. And I'm just going to opt to go for this little here. I'm going to go for a Howl. Hoping for more energy. I instead get a lot of Littens. And I have to hope and pray that Darkest Lariat is going to pull off. We got the knockout, guys! We got the knockout! The Gallade's one-shotted! You don't see that in Theme Deck Cornet! You don't see that! You do not see someone get one-shotted! You do not see someone's Gallade get one-shotted! Incineroar is a tank! We have stopped our opponent in their tracks! Only have Furfroos and Swoobats. Now, this Swoobat can come in and knock us out if he lands 2 heads on the coin toss. Goes for a Tierno, draws 3 more cards. He's at 19 cards. He's actually taken more cards now than we have. This is actually an insane game going on. Incineroar versus Gallade, and currently we're proving that we're winning every time. We want to go with the Fire Fang because it's guaranteed to knock out. I don't have any real room to add bench cards right now, so I have no intention of dropping anything. And I need those 3 energies for a Litten if this guy does go down. So we're just going to go for the Fire Fang. It's going to do 30. It's going to do 20 additional damage, which does it knock out? Yes, it does, guys! The burn may be healed, but We're going to knock out this Woobat. We're going to get a Boulder. We're 2 prizes away from winning. And our opponent has 2 unequipped Furfroos. Unequipped! We can easily get this knockout here. Darkest Lariat just needs to pull through. He's dropped 1 energy onto this Furfrou, but he is going to have to pass this turn unless he's got some Pokemon in the back. He does play a Skitty. Does not matter too much. Again, we're down to 2 prizes left, and he's got 3 Pokemon. So he's got a bit of an option, sure. Oh, he's got lots of Skitty. Lots of Skitty. Whew! I'm feeling good, guys. Feeling good about these decks. We're going to see an Escape Rope come through. I will have to put up my Passimian. It's only a 1 energy retreat. We're going to see the good old Furfrou come up, but we are going to have to take out this Furfrou as best as we can. I'll have to sacrifice one of the energies we do have, but I guarantee you there's more energy in there, considering there are only 6 in play right now. Only 6 in play, and we've got 20 energy. And only 2 cards left to prize. So if you do the math, we've got 9 energy. Out of the 21 cards we don't have, 11 of them are energy. So it's pretty high. We'll eventually get an energy card. At this point, though, I'll probably switch into Beware because it's confirmed damage. Incineroar is also really close to being knocked out, and I'd rather not have a prize loss if I don't have to. We're going to see the Ralts and the Swoobat come down, or the Woobat, I apologize. And it's going to be our turn. Now, we got the energy. We can easily just sacrifice this fighting energy to the Passimian. We're going to retreat out. Go into our Beware. We're going to knock out this Furfrou right now with Superpower. I don't have a problem doing 20 damage. Yes, let's do it. And we're going to do 120 damage to Furfrou. We're going to take 20, but we're going to take that second to last prize, and our opponent is in a very bad position. Very, very bad position. He brings up the Furfrou. Unfortunately, I do not have another big Malasada, so if he does get the Tight Jaw and the Paralysis, it is going to stay in effect. There's nothing I can do, and he might be able to take out my Beware. Might be able to take out my Beware. We're going to see a Swoobat in the back. It's an actual Swoobat now. And a Curlia in the back. So our opponent is starting to play most of their cards. Whereas we are unfortunately not able to. The Paralysis there is missing, so that will be the game, guys. I don't even need to do anything. I'm not going to keep my opponent waiting. We're just going to do the additional damage and clutch this game. We got 2 wins with Incineroar. That was some strong matches. We did see the one weakness, though, in Incineroar, and that is those coin flips. We did miss on the Milktank when it may have mattered. Would have not needed to take so much additional damage. But again, we came through. Our opponent didn't take a single prize off of us, and that is the power of these Sun and Moon theme decks. Again, highly recommend buying this one if you're just in for a good time. If you're playing theme deck formats yourself, this deck is a lot of fun. And if you want an early track to get Passimian for a deck, you will need to buy 2 of these, unless you want to wait till Sun and Moon actually launches. But with that, though, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are brand new here, make sure to subscribe because I'm producing content all the time. And don't forget, Primarina is coming out on Friday, so that'll be our 3rd and final Sun and Moon theme deck until the new sets obviously come out. But for me, that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. But until then, time out.